little girl in the backseat of my mom's station wagon. They were on the radio, and I was like transformed by their music.
Do you remember what song it was?
It was in 1964. They had two hits, which were "Tell Her No" and "She's Not There," and it was those two songs.
In the 1980s, when MTV was shaping pop culture, one young woman stood out among the rest: Susanna Hoffs. Her playful sideways glance in the Bangles' iconic music video, "Walk Like an Egyptian," was all the rave. With her tousled hair, cute pout, and approachable charm, she became an instant sex symbol, leaving little to the imagination. Now 66 years old, Susanna Hoffs is still a favorite of her old fans and winning the hearts of the new generation with her timeless beauty and creativity that knows absolutely no bounds. Susanna's career has been revolutionary. Not only did she collaborate with music legends, but she has also destroyed stereotypes about women in rock. Keep watching to see who she has become now, and if she has any recent achievements. How the Bangles started. Susanna Lee Hoffs was born on January 17, 1959, in the sunny city of Los Angeles, California. She's the daughter of Tamar Ruth and Joshua Allen Hoffs. Tamar is a film director, writer, and producer, while Joshua works as a psychoanalyst. Susanna is their only daughter, and they also have two sons named John and Jesse. Their home was often filled with creativity and school-smart discussions, with Susanna describing it as an atheist, intellectual, creative world. On her mom's side, her grandfather was a rabbi in Chicago. When Susanna was 12, she got to visit Israel for the first time to see her grandparents, which was a special experience for her. As a kid, Susanna Hoffs learned ballet and picked up the guitar in elementary school, getting her first guitar lessons from her uncle. She went to Palisades High School, and in 1980, she graduated from the University of California, Berkeley, with a bachelor's degree in art. During her time at Berkeley, she explored different subjects like dance, theater, film, and art. While in college, Susanna worked as a production assistant and even tried her hand at acting. She made her acting debut in the 1978 film Stony Island, directed by Andrew Davis and written by her mom, Tamar Simon Hoffs. The cast included Richie Davis, Ray Dawn Chong, and Dennis Franz. During her college years, Susanna had some cool experiences. She went to the final Sex Pistols concert at the Winterland Ballroom with her friends and also attended a Patti Smith concert. Before she went to college, Susanna Hoffs started playing the electric guitar, starting with a Gibson SG. But she wanted to get a Rickenbacker guitar because she loved the bright, jangly sound it had. Plus, she was inspired by bands like the Byrds and the Beatles, who used Rickenbacker guitars too, so she got herself a 1960s model with black and white checked binding. Susanna used this guitar on the early recordings she did with the Bangles. But after some adjustments that changed how it felt to play, she decided to get a Rickenbacker 325 instead. On the cover of the Bangles album All Over the Place, you can see Susanna holding her Rickenbacker 325 V63 guitar. A musicologist named Peter Mercer Taylor noted that Susanna's Rickenbacker was a black and white 6-string with 3 pickups and a place for a vibrato bar, although the bar wasn't actually attached. Shortly after it came out in 1963, this guitar became known as John Lennon's favorite instrument. Musicologist Mercer Taylor saw this as a big symbol, showing that the Bangles were determined to push the boundaries for female bands in the music world. Back in the late 1970s, when Susanna Hoffs was studying at UC Berkeley, she teamed up with her then-boyfriend David Roback, whom she knew from Palisades High School, to form a duo called the Psychiatrists. Later on, they changed their name to the Unconscious. There's a bit of confusion about whether they actually performed live. In one version, Susanna mentioned that their performances would last for about 50 minutes, kind of like Psychiatrists' hours. But in a 2012 interview, Susanna said something different. She mentioned that she and David had a band together in Berkeley, but they never actually performed in front of an audience. According to her, her first real performance was with the Bangles, and they played at the Laird Movie Studio. In the early 1980s, the music scene in Los Angeles was ready for something new and different. That's when Susanna Hoffs, who had just graduated from UC Berkeley with a degree in art, debuted in the industry. She loved 1960s rock music and had a dream of starting an all-female band. Instead of following the usual route of finding band members through friends or auditions, Susanna decided to do something bold. She placed an advertisement in The Recycler, a local classifieds paper, hoping to find other women who shared her passion for music. Her risk paid off when she connected with Vicki and Debbie Peterson, who were sisters and had played music together before. Another version of the story about how the Bangles came together involves a different woman who had previously been in a band with sisters Vicki and Debbie Peterson. This woman also happened to share a house with the Peterson sisters. Susanna Hoffs decided to join forces with the Petersons instead of the original woman who advertised for bandmates. They kicked off their musical journey by starting the band in Susanna's parents' garage in Brentwood. Interestingly, Susanna's parents had transformed the garage into an apartment for her, so it was their rehearsal space as they began their musical journey together. Either scenario it actually was, together, Susanna, Vicki, and Debbie formed a band originally called The Colors, which was changed to The Bangs, believed to playfully reference a popular 1960s hairstyle. The four of them began practicing and perfecting their sound, which was heavily influenced by bands like The Byrds and The Hollies. Their music featured jangly guitars and catchy melodies that harked back to the folk rock sound of the 1960s. Susanna Hoffs' bright and distinctive lead vocals, combined with the tight harmonies of the Peterson sisters, gave the band a unique sound that was reminiscent of the 60s but also had a modern twist, reflecting their Southern Californian roots. With Susanna Hoffs playing rhythm guitar and singing lead, Vicki rocking the lead guitar, Debbie keeping the beat on drums, and Annette Zielinska's holding down the bass, the band quickly gained a strong following in Los Angeles. Their young fans were drawn to their playful and vintage style on stage. Most of their fans were guys who couldn't get enough of Susanna's cute looks, her tousled hair, and her fun personality. To avoid any legal problems, they changed their name to the Bangles. That caught the attention of Miles Copeland, who was the brother of Stuart Copeland from The Police. He also started IRS Records. Miles saw something special in the Bangles' cool vibe and their deep understanding of rock music's roots. He signed them to his label called Faulty Products, which later became part of Columbia Records. Now, the best part. In 1984, the Bangles released their first album, All Over the Place. Critics loved it, praising their old-school sound and how talented they were as singers, songwriters, and musicians. Even though the album didn't sell a ton of copies, it was still seen as a hit in the underground music scene in America. While Susanna Hoffs used the Rickenbacker 325 on some of the Bangles recordings, she found it tricky to tune and mainly used it for music videos. For a while, she relied on a borrowed Fender Telecaster as her main guitar. She also played a Fender Stratocaster for live performances in 1984 and 1985. Fame and personal life. In 1986, the Bangles reached new heights of fame with their album Different Light. It was this album that catapulted them into the world of mainstream pop music. The most unique track on the album was Manic Monday, which was written by the legendary Prince. This song became a huge hit, and its music video showcased Susanna Hoffs' undeniable charm and iconic style. In the music video for Walk Like an Egyptian, Susanna's playful glance to the side became one of the most memorable moments of the entire decade. Her fresh and sexy presence made a lasting impression on audiences everywhere. As the Bangles gained more popularity, some people started to see Susanna as the face of the band. While all the members were incredibly talented, Susanna's beauty and charisma often took center stage, leading some to believe that the label and media were pushing her to the forefront as the band's main attraction. Despite the ongoing problems within the band, the Bangles managed to put them aside at least for a while and make the most of their incredible success. In 1988, they released their biggest album yet, Everything. This album was a game-changer for them. With two huge singles, In Your Room and Eternal Flame, both co-written by Susanna Hoffs with the famous songwriting duo Billy Steinberg and Tom Kelly, the Bangles reached new heights of fame. In Your Room was a sexy hit that made it into the top 10 charts, while Eternal Flame became a worldwide sensation, reaching #1 in many countries. Susanna almost left nothing to the imagination in the music video. After the release of Everything, the Bangles were no longer just known to underground music fans. They had become household names, recognized all over the world. They were now pop superstars, riding a wave of fame that seemed unstoppable. Do you still remember the first time you heard one of their songs? In 1988 and 1989, Susanna worked with Rickenbacker on designing her own signature model, the Susanna Hoffs model of the Rickenbacker 350. After the Bangles broke up, Susanna got a Taylor K22 guitar. Later on, she collaborated with Taylor on the Susanna Hoffs signature series of guitars. She also owns a 1966 12-string Guild Starfire, which she loves for its bright yet warm sound. She used this guitar for some tracks on the Bangles album Doll Revolution. During the Bangles' rise to fame with their hugely successful 1988 album Everything and its chart-topping singles In Your Room and Eternal Flame, tensions began to build within the group. A lot of this tension came from the feeling that Susanna Hoffs was being treated as the main leader and face of the band. Even though all four members sang lead vocals, Susanna's photogenic appearance and strong presence in front of the camera made her stand out. She was often the focus of music videos and media interviews. This internal conflict, along with the constant pressure of touring and trying to follow up on their massive success, eventually led to the Bangles breaking up in 1989. After the Bangles split up, Susanna Hoffs decided to explore different ways to express her creativity. She started by trying her hand at acting, taking on roles in movies like The All-Nighter in 1987. This film, directed by her mother Tamar Simon Hoffs, didn't become a blockbuster, but it gave Susanna a chance to show off her acting skills. In 1991, Susanna made her solo music debut with the album When You're a Boy. Even though it included the hit song My Side of the Bed, which made it into the top 40 charts, the album didn't achieve the same level of success as her time with the Bangles. Her next album, Susanna Hoffs, was released in 1996, but it also didn't do as well as she had hoped. After that, Susanna decided to take a break from the spotlight for a while. During this break, something important happened in Susanna's personal life. In 1991, she went on a blind date and met Jay Roach, who is a filmmaker. This meeting started a major change in her life. Susanna Hoffs and Jay Roach instantly connected when they met, and they tied the knot in 1993. This meant Susanna could make Los Angeles her permanent home, where she was born. Her mom was a film director, and her dad was a psychoanalyst. In the mid-1990s, Susanna and Jay became parents to two sons, Jackson and Sam. As Susanna embraced her roles as a wife and mom, she didn't stop exploring her artistic side. One of her projects was forming the band Ming T, along with Mike Myers and Matthew Sweet. They had a fun 1960s-inspired sound and appeared in all three Austin Powers movies. Susanna also started writing songs for other artists and lending her unique voice to albums by Rufus Wainwright, Travis, and the Lilith Fair Group. She kept busy with all these different creative ventures while enjoying her family life with Jay and their 2 sons. The spark of reunion. By the end of the 1990s, Susanna Hoffs found herself at a crossroads. Her solo career, though creative and heartfelt, hadn't replicated the commercial success she had once enjoyed with the Bangles. At the same time, her personal life was evolving. She was settling into her role as a wife to filmmaker Jay Roach and a devoted mother. Though she remained active with side projects, nothing seemed to fill the unique space that the Bangles had once occupied in her life. Then came an unexpected opportunity. In 1999, her husband, Jay Roach, was working on the sequel to his hit comedy, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and had an idea. Why not bring the Bangles back together to record a new song for the film? He knew how much the band had meant to Susanna, both professionally and emotionally. Jay's suggestion sparked something inside her, a blend of nostalgia and hope. Excited by the prospect, Susanna reached out to her former bandmates, Vicky Peterson, Debbie Peterson, and Michael Steele. To her delight, they were all enthusiastic about the idea. The group reunited in the studio to record Get the Girl, and the chemistry was immediate. Despite the years apart, their musical synergy hadn't faded. The session was smooth, energizing, and deeply fulfilling. It was clear to all of them, the Bangles still had something special. Buoyed by this positive experience, the band officially announced their reunion. They began making plans for tours and started working on new material, much to the excitement of their longtime fans. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in the Bangles' journey, one that would be guided by maturity, mutual respect, and a renewed sense of creative purpose. Reinvention and Return. Reuniting after a long hiatus was both thrilling and daunting for the Bangles. This time around, they were determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. During the height of their fame in the 1980s, internal tensions had grown over creative control and media focus, especially as Susanna Hoffs often became the center of attention, sometimes unintentionally. Now, with the benefit of experience and a shared history behind them, the band approached their comeback with a more balanced and collaborative mindset. The Bangles made a conscious effort to reframe their public image. Instead of highlighting a single frontwoman, they emphasized that they were a band of equals. Each member would take turns singing lead vocals, and decisions were made collectively. While Susanna still drew public interest due to her iconic status and timeless beauty, she stepped back slightly in the spotlight to ensure the group's unity came through more clearly. This refreshed dynamic helped restore harmony within the band and allowed them to present a united front to the world. In 2003, the Bangles released their first post-reunion album, Doll Revolution. The album was praised for blending a contemporary edge with their classic harmonies and jangly guitar-driven sound. It showed that the Bangles were not just relying on nostalgia, they were evolving. The album's release was followed by a successful tour, including dates with fellow 80s icons, the Psychedelic Furs. In 2011, they released another well-received album titled Sweetheart of the Sun, further proving their staying power. These projects solidified their return as not just a reunion act, but a band with meaningful new contributions to offer. Legacy, creativity, and cultural icon status. As the 2000s turned into the 2010s and beyond, Susanna Hoffs found herself in a phase of artistic resurgence. While continuing to record and tour with the Bangles, she also explored personal projects that allowed her to showcase her versatility. One such endeavor was her collaboration with singer-songwriter Matthew Sweet. Together, they released the Under the Covers series, 3 albums that paid tribute to classic tracks from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. These covers highlighted her range as a vocalist and her deep love for rock history. In 2020, she performed an emotional rendition of Nothing Compares to You at Prince's Grammy tribute, a touching nod to an artist she deeply admired. She remained active through the 2020s, releasing new solo albums like Bright Lights, 2021, and The Deep End, 2023, both of which reminded fans of her vocal strength and emotional depth. Meanwhile, her cultural relevance only grew. In 2023, she took on a new challenge: writing fiction. Her debut novel, This Bird Has Flown, a romantic comedy, resonated with readers and was quickly picked up for film adaptation by Universal Pictures. Even at 66, Susanna Hoffs continues to evolve. On social media platforms like TikTok, she became an unexpected viral sensation, with clips of her signature sideways glance from Walk Like an Egyptian drawing millions of views. To younger generations, she represents a blend of 80s, cool, timeless femininity and enduring talent. Despite her accomplishments, one milestone still remains elusive. The Bangles have yet to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fans and critics alike argue that their influence, as a pioneering all-female band that wrote, played, and performed their own hits, is long overdue for such recognition. With hits like Manic Monday, Eternal Flame, and In Your Room, and with Susanna Hoffs as their driving creative force, the band's legacy is undeniable. Through it all, Susanna Hoffs has remained a symbol of longevity, grace, and unwavering artistic drive. She continues to work on new music and even has another novel in the pipeline. Her journey, from leading one of the most iconic all-female bands of the 80s to becoming a novelist and solo artist, shows that reinvention is not only possible but powerful. Whether or not the Rock Hall ever comes calling, Susanna Hoffs has already carved out her place in music history. The Bangles' visual legacy, music videos, and fashion. The Bangles were not only trailblazers in the music industry with their catchy songs and harmonies, but they also helped shape the visual landscape of the 1980s. Their music videos became as iconic as their hits, with their bold fashion choices and unique aesthetics, making an indelible mark on both the music video format and the pop culture of the era. The band's ability to blend fun, high-energy visuals with their distinct musical style helped define the look and feel of 80s music videos, setting the stage for future generations of artists to follow. One of the most memorable music videos in the Bangles' catalog is Walk Like an Egyptian, which became an instant cultural touchstone when it debuted in 1986. The video is a masterclass in 80s visual excess, full of colorful costumes, whimsical choreography, and vibrant backdrops. The playful tone of the video matched the upbeat nature of the song, with the band members dressed in eclectic and stylish outfits, performing against quirky and imaginative settings. The video's success was in part due to its ability to capture the playful spirit of the song, while also creating a lasting visual identity for the band. The fashion choices in Walk Like an Egyptian are often cited as quintessential 80s style, with bold prints, oversized silhouettes, and funky accessories. The band's look was both accessible and aspirational for fans. They embraced the era's love for exaggerated shapes and vivid colors, which were often combined in unexpected ways. Susanna Hoffs, in particular, became a fashion icon, her signature dark bangs and glamorous yet effortlessly chic aesthetic influencing many young women at the time. The Bangles' style was a departure from the glam and glitter of many 80s pop acts, embracing a more relaxed, bohemian vibe that was still undeniably fashionable. Following the success of Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bangles' music video for Eternal Flame in 1989 showcased a different side of the band, focusing more on intimacy and elegance. The video featured a softer, more romantic visual style, with the band dressed in beautiful, flowing outfits. The video's minimalistic approach, set against a dreamy, pastel-toned backdrop, created an air of elegance that perfectly complemented the song's emotional depth. While Walk Like an Egyptian was energetic and playful, Eternal Flame was a visual reflection of the emotional richness of the song, offering a contrast that further solidified the Bangles' versatility as both musicians and visual artists. The Bangles' music videos helped shape 80s fashion trends, with their playful and sophisticated combinations influencing not just music fans, but also broader pop culture. The blending of casual and formal elements in their wardrobes, think mixing leather jackets with skirts or pairing graphic t-shirts with accessories, became a defining look of the era. Their ability to make even the most laid-back outfits look stylish was part of their allure. They made 80s fashion feel both attainable and chic, creating a sense of effortless cool that was embraced by young people everywhere. In addition to their music videos, the Bangles also embodied a broader sense of visual style through their overall aesthetic. The band's use of makeup, hair, and accessories all became signature elements of their look. With their perfectly styled hair, bold eye makeup, and use of statement jewelry, they helped define the visual language of 80s pop rock. They were often seen sporting bold eyeliner, crimped hair, and outfits that mixed vintage-inspired pieces with more modern, on-trend accessories. The influence of the Bangles' fashion and video style is still felt today. Music videos in the 80s were a key part of an artist's identity, and the Bangles set a standard for the importance of visuals in defining a band's persona. Their iconic looks continue to inspire designers, musicians, and fans alike, with their ability to blend fashion, music, and visual storytelling still considered an important benchmark in pop culture. The Bangles' impact on 80s fashion and video aesthetics goes beyond just their era. As trends from the 80s have been revived and reinterpreted in recent years, the Bangles' signature style has remained relevant. The band's videos and fashion choices serve as a visual reminder of the boldness, energy, and innovation of 80s pop culture, continuing to influence both musicians and fans alike. Their contribution to music video aesthetics and 80s fashion remains one of their most enduring legacies, cementing them not just as music icons, but as style icons as well. Susanna Hoffs' role beyond music, a multifaceted artist. While Susanna Hoffs is best known for her pioneering role as the lead singer of the Bangles, her creativity and talents extend far beyond music. Over the years, Hoffs has ventured into acting, writing, and even philanthropy, proving that her artistic range is as vast as her influence on the music world. Her willingness to explore new mediums, embrace different roles, and contribute to meaningful causes has helped solidify her as a truly multifaceted artist. Before becoming a household name as the front woman of the Bangles, Susanna Hoffs had early aspirations in acting. Although she eventually focused her energy on her musical career, she did take on a few acting roles that added depth to her creative journey. Hoffs made appearances in various TV shows and films, including a role in the 1980s teen drama The Big Picture. While her acting career didn't reach the heights of her musical success, it provided her with a unique perspective on the entertainment world. She would go on to use these early acting experiences to enhance her overall performance as a musician, drawing on her ability to connect with an audience through both voice and presence. Although Hoffs's focus ultimately remained on her music, her brief stint in acting contributed to her dynamic persona. giving her the ability to move effortlessly between different forms of creative expression. Perhaps the most surprising and exciting development in Susanna Hoffs' career came with her transition into fiction writing. In 2023, she released her debut novel, This Bird Has Flown, a romantic comedy that draws on her sharp sense of humor and deep understanding of relationships. The novel tells the story of a woman navigating love, loss, and self-discovery, themes that resonate with many of Hoffs' fans. For Hoffs, writing was a natural extension of her creativity. Throughout her career, she has always been a storyteller, weaving narratives into her lyrics, creating characters and scenarios that fans could relate to and reflect upon. This Bird Has Flown allowed her to take this storytelling further, channeling her wit and insight into a new medium. The decision to write a novel was not only an artistic evolution, but also a personal one, as she began to explore new avenues of expression outside of music. The novel's success was swift, with This Bird Has Flown receiving positive reviews for its engaging narrative and relatable characters. Fans were drawn to Hoffs' authentic voice, a familiar yet fresh take on life and love. The release of the book sparked excitement, not only for Hoffs' literary talents, but also for the possibility of more projects in the future. In fact, the film rights to This Bird Has Flown were quickly acquired by Universal Pictures, further solidifying her presence as a creative force beyond her musical legacy. With the success of her first novel, Susanna Hoffs shows no signs of slowing down. She has hinted at future writing projects, keeping fans intrigued about what's next. Her experience as a musician, combined with her rich emotional insight, positions her to potentially explore a variety of genres and themes. Fans may anticipate more novels, but it's also possible that Hoffs could expand into other forms of writing, such as memoirs or even screenplays. Her work as an author mirrors the diverse aspects of her life. As a musician, she's always told stories through her songs, and now, as a writer, she's able to delve even deeper into the human experience. Hoffs' unique ability to blend humor, heartache, and hope into a cohesive narrative is something that has resonated with readers and will likely continue to attract an even broader audience in her literary career. In addition to her artistic endeavors, Susanna Hoffs has been actively involved in philanthropic and charitable causes. While she has maintained a relatively low profile in terms of her charitable work, she has supported numerous causes related to education, mental health, and women's rights. Hoffs has spoken publicly about the importance of women supporting women in the music industry and beyond, advocating for equality and creating opportunities for future generations of female musicians and artists. She has also used her platform to raise awareness for various social causes, understanding the power her voice can have both in and outside the music world. Through her involvement in charitable efforts, Hoffs continues to inspire others, proving that her influence extends far beyond just entertainment and into positive social change. Through her ventures into acting, writing, and philanthropy, Susanna Hoffs has shown that she is much more than just a pop icon from the 80s. She has successfully carved out a path of creative exploration, proving that there are no limits to her talent and vision. Whether it's her compelling novel, This Bird Has Flown, her contributions to charitable causes, or her ongoing musical endeavors, Hoffs continues to inspire and entertain, maintaining a lasting legacy as a true artist in every sense of the word. As Hoffs moves forward, fans can only imagine the new ways she will continue to express herself. Her journey as an artist is one of evolution, and there's no telling what creative direction she'll take next. One thing is certain, Susanna Hoffs' role beyond music is only just beginning to unfold, and her impact on the world, through art, writing, and philanthropy, will continue to resonate for years to come. Do you still remember the icon and listen to her music? Share with us your favorite track and album in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.